Greetings, fellow history lovers. My name is David Georgievich, and today I would like to bring up a topic that is related to the Balkans, one which I think will be intriguing to Western audiences. I would like to discuss the impact of the Ottoman conquests on Balkan societies, how the arrival of the Ottomans onto the Balkans and the imposition of a different form of government, a different type of rule, which is related to Islam, has contributed to a certain social regression and a regression in political awareness in the Balkans during the period of Ottoman rule. Before the arrival of the Ottomans in the late 14th and early 15th centuries, the Balkans, I think, were on a trajectory set to be more or less common with that of Western Europe. Of course, there were some specificities which made it different from Western Europe, namely the closeness of the Roman Empire and the influence of its cultural, political, and religious legacy upon the development of the Balkan states. With the arrival of the Ottomans, this development was hindered. A lot of the political elite was either killed off or had to flee from the Balkans to other countries, to the rival kingdom of Hungary, to the north of the Danube and the Sava, and also to Poland, Lithuania. Over the course of the 386 years that the Ottomans ruled the Balkans, the only institution which remained permanent that bound Balkan societies together was the Orthodox Church. People then organized around smaller family units, and these family units coalesced into tribes, which is most apparent in the Kars regions in the Balkans. This sort of regression was caused by a necessity to defend oneself from Ottoman depredations, from the devshirme, the so-called blood tribute, where the Ottoman government gathered young men and took them to Constantinople to be trained as soldiers, as janissaries. The arrival of the Ottomans, that is the Ottoman rule in the Balkans, created a different set of circumstances. First and foremost, it imposed a foreign ruling elite upon the Balkan states, so the former Roman Empire, Bulgaria, and Serbia, and it caused a disruption in the political and social economic evolution of these lands. During the course of these 386 years, the lands under Ottoman Turkish rule remained separate from developments in Western Europe. After the liberation from Ottoman rule, Balkan societies had to somehow, let's say, catch up with Western societies. But they also had to reconnect with their own historical legacy, which was not an easy task. A lot of the archives, a lot of documentation had been either taken to Constantinople, to modern-day Istanbul, and was kept in Topkapi Saray and the Imperial Palace, was otherwise destroyed by the Ottomans during these series of uprisings that happened against Ottoman rule, especially in the Serbian lands in the 16th and 17th centuries, and also many other archives were destroyed during the Second World War. So people had to rely upon what remained to be able to revive their social development, to revive social life as it existed in the past. Of course, they called upon a historical legacy which was to them distant and in some senses mythologized. Nevertheless, this has created a different approach to social organization than what exists in Western Europe. So people here still retained a tribal mentality, one which was especially imported from the western regions, the karst regions close to the Adriatic coast. And this heavily influenced, I would say, our understanding of state organization. Another thing is because the Serbian people have lived for so long under a different, two different actually empires, the Austrians and the Hungarians, and the Ottoman Turks. They never felt any connection to these two states. So they always saw the state structures as being inimical to their own interests. And therefore, any expressions of defiance that they were able to show was considered a sign of resistance to these ruling structures. Well, unfortunately, after the end of both of these empires, this sort of defiant approach to state authorities did not proceed. It has remained as a common trait in the Balkans. Hopefully, we'll be able to delve further into the causes of this mentality. Until next time, I remain faithfully yours, David Georgievich.